becomes the bigger piece. Okay, I need to change how I see myself because I have these personal limited beliefs. The premise, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Okay, but self-knowledge is self-empowerment.
Hi everybody, my name is Jacob Valentine. To my left I have Ray Shellmire. I am super excited. Today we're going to talk about mental health, and it's all going to be about emotional management, something that I need to work on a lot because I'm a very emotional man. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with it. All right, good. I'm glad someone's telling me I have nothing wrong with me. You're a professional. So let's start with, could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? What is your background? Like where you come from, like everything.
Okay.
Or
okay.
don't not all day, but
Okay,
keep it concise. All right.
So I've been working in this field for about 36 years. My background is in psychology, neurophysiology, and social work. For that 36 years, when I started, what I'm going to be sharing with you was only theory at the time. In that 36 years, or 40 years even, psychology, neurophysiology, epigenetics has gone leaps and bounds in terms of the knowledge that we have today. We know today that the body, the mind, the heart, if you will, all has ability to heal. And when I started this, we were basically focusing on things like trauma and emotions and like anxiety and depression. And we were using things like medications and things like that to help people mitigate their situation. Today, the knowledge that we have today is that that doesn't need to happen. Okay, people actually have the ability to do this work on their own if they are willing to do the work.
Yeah.
So first, you have to have the knowledge of so how is my brain working? How does this correlate with what my heart is doing? How does this working with even my body even? How do environmental situations present challenges to me physiologically? How do internal situations present challenges to me physiologically? Once you have that knowledge, okay, then you can tell yourself, okay, so what do I do with that?
Yeah.
Okay, because now I'm aware that this is what goes on to me. This is what I deal with. This is how I experience life. It may not be the way I really want to be experiencing life. So now I can just turn the signal on for myself to start questioning that, going, how do I really want to be experiencing life?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I want to feel free? Do I want to feel whole? Do I want to feel connected? Do I want to have awesome experience in my life? Okay. Or I could stay where I'm at and say, well, because that's happening, I'm this way.
So I think everything you're saying is very powerful, because I think, the common phrase a lot of people say is, I'm going crazy today, or I don't know how to, I don't know if my mind's going, or I feel that nothing makes sense anymore. And I think a lot of what people are dealing with today is this depression and anxiety, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. And I think my first question is going to be what are you seeing when it comes to anxiety and depression, and how is especially with COVID and racial tensions and X, Y, and Z, what are you seeing?
Oh my goodness, I've become so busy, and it really kicked in with the George Floyd situation,
Yep.
especially around African American folks.
Of course.
Folks have just completely been unraveling, and kind of what you're saying, because of these things are happening, it's making me feel a certain way, or because of these things that happened in my past, I can't get over whatever's happening to me at this point. It's just, what that tells me is that they're not aware that they're giving their ability, their power to something that happens outside of them. Okay, so my work is then to begin to help them see that it's an inner power thing that comes out of them. Okay, that they have the ability to transform the world around them, but they have to start with the world within inside of them.
Yeah.
So, um, person after person after person comes to me and says, because of this, this is why I'm the way I am. Okay. My work at this point is then to say, well, let's think about that a little bit, because what you're telling me is that you believe that the cause of your life is because of something outside of you. Okay. I'd like to share some knowledge with you. I'd like to share some
share with everybody.
some information that contradicts that. That we know today, without a doubt, that what happens inside of you actually affects what's going on around you. Okay. Now, it can be the other way true as well. Okay. Where, say, it rains and now I'm sad, and because we have seasonal depression and things like that.
Chemical imbalances.
But that is giving up your own power. Okay. The reverse of that is, I have a different perspective on the rain. Okay. I'm going to be settled. I'm going to be balanced. I'm going to be whole no matter what. Hurricane comes in, I'm still going to sit in the eye of it, kind of thing. You can do that. Okay. The only reason why you can't do that at this point is mainly because you've been trained to do it the other way.
Yeah.
And it starts really early. I mean, really early. The first 7 years of our life, we just download everything.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever our parents are doing the most, we get it. Okay. And that's why people say, well, you act like your mother, or you're too much like your dad, and things like that, because your first 7 years, you just downloaded their behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it goes to, okay, now I'm going to school, and then there's society, and then the community, all these other things that just download that stuff.
Yep.
So the construct that becomes Ray, okay, is really just a set of programs that I downloaded. Okay. The real me has never really been able to show up. Now, there's an inner part of me that's saying, you know, life could be better. You know, you can be stronger. You know, you can be happy. You know, you can have more wealth. You know, all these different things. And I'm looking at it going, how? Maybe I go work 1,000 years, you know, to make some money.
Right.
Maybe whatever, because I'm operating from a basic philosophy that I have to work to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to use my physical power, matter on matter, and that just takes a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I say I got to give me a house in 10 years, okay, versus I have a situation in my heart that says I'm already living well, and I create it. Okay,
Yeah.
and I create it, and we call that in most things visualization. I have a visualization. But I try to take people a little bit further than just a visualization. Because what we've learned today is that a clear intention, like this is what I see, this is what I want, this is where I want to be, coupled with what we call an elevated emotion, this is how I feel about it, okay?
Yeah.
Makes you literally fold time and space to bring things to you.
Yeah.
How is that true? How is that true? Well, the mind itself creates what we call an electrical signal that we're sending and projecting every single day. And we do this most of the time unconsciously, to the tune of 65 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. Okay, so we're never off. The problem is a lot of the thoughts that we think, probably 90% of it, it's the same thing that we thought about yesterday.
Yeah.
So if I thought I was depressed or anxious yesterday, I'm going to wake up in the morning, look at my face, everything, oh, I'm still depressed. And it's just over and over and over. And it's not even something that I'm even aware of. It just feels like me.
Definitely.
Feeling bad feels like me. Okay?
Yeah.
That itself continues to project into what we call the field.
Yeah.
Okay? And that emotion just keeps bringing more of that to me, more of that to me, more of that to me. If I just learn, it's a practice, it's a skill that I have to have. If I just learn to change my thinking, that'd be the first step. Not just saying I don't want to be something, but actually what I really want to be. I want to be happier.
Yeah.
I want to be more fulfilled. I want to feel freer. You know, I want to have more awesome experiences in my life. And then I couple that with, man, it'd be feeling so good to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my goodness, it just feel amazing. I feel so much at peace. Have those two together, okay, what'll happen one, I'll feel better.
Yeah.
I'll change how I feel
For sure.
because I'll go from this depression to this state of calmness, or this anxiety to the state of calmness.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, feel more balanced.
For sure.
One, I'll just feel better. The next, if I start paying attention to the surroundings around me, I'll get some amazing surprises.
Yeah.
Things will start to show up. And this is what I tell people when I teach them. We call it the formula.
Yeah.
When I teach you the formula, once you make your connection, because there's this inner aspect of us. I call it the inner being, if you will. I call it, but in science, it's really our central nervous system and our unconscious self. Okay,
Yeah.
and when you can connect to it and lower it, our bodies will do the healing and create for us itself. Because just think about this. We have about 1 billion cells a minute dying, but we also have about 1 billion cells a minute recreating itself.
Yep.
Okay, we're not doing that. Something else is doing that. You breathe consistently every day, throughout the day, throughout the night, and not even think about it. You probably didn't even think about it until I said you breathe.
Yeah.
Okay. Same with your heartbeat. Okay. We're not doing that. Okay. There's something else doing that, keeping you alive, keeping you going, so forth. You know. So when you're in a stress situation, that's all it's doing.
Yeah.
But if you can lower that stress down, okay, change your mind, change your physiological feeling to something more balanced, something calmer, it will take over and start to do not just the healing, but it'll start sending out signals for other things to happen.
Perfect.
Okay.
So I guess the next thing I want to talk about is like you're talking about the fact that like we have to kind of reprogram the way we see the world.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, for a lot of people who are out there, you know, the reason why we wanted to have a mental health like videos in our community and for our community is because people don't have these tools,
Right.
or they don't even have the knowledge or someone who can guide them into this mentality. And I think, you know, for you, like what is the first sign that like you people should be looking for when it comes to like that imbalance of the way they think, or that imbalance of like, you know, yes, you might be having anxious, but is it anxious because of a season, or is it anxious because of a mentality?
The other piece is, have I just been this way all the time?
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of people come to me and it's like, they tell me who they are. I'm an anxious person, or I'm an angry person, and, you know, and that's the identity. So it's not just how I see the world, it's how I see myself too.
Yeah.
Jackson. So that becomes the bigger piece. Okay, I need to change how I see myself because I have these personal limited beliefs. Remember, I said I downloaded them though. It wasn't something I just woke up as a baby and said, you know, I'm going to be mediocre.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, it's the people ahead of me who maybe had fear when I tried to do something different, or they said, you know, black kids can't do that. You know, and they repeated it over and over, not just in their words, but in their actions and whatnot. And at some point, I may have just said, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is who I am. This is where I'm at. And that's the point you probably want to go and get, excuse me, if you want to change and you feel like you can't make that happen, that's on your own. That's the time you want to go and get someone. There are a lot of people that I would say even today, say counseling isn't accessible to you, okay, but you feel suicidal, you feel down, you feel like nobody likes you, you don't have any friends or anything like that. The best thing that you can do right now is just try to seek knowledge. Just like, how could I be different if I wanted to be different?
Yeah.
What does my brain work like? How does my heart work? You know, I can't go and spend $150 to see Ray or anything like that,
Definitely.
but I can go and get access to the knowledge, because a lot of this I'm saying to you is in the library.
Or YouTube.
Or YouTube.
I mean, YouTube is
Or
been
YouTube.
a very
And all
big
I
thing.
got to do is access it. But I have to have some seriousness about it, because once I access the knowledge, I have to apply it. I have to practice it, because what I'm telling you is a skill. You know, every human being has the ability to do what I'm telling you to do, but we have to take the time to build the skill to do it, because it's very, very simple, but not easy. When you come up against yourself and say you're 35, okay, and you've been doing this for the last, since you're like 7, okay, you may say, I want to do this, okay, but your body has been trained to go, well, wait a minute, okay, you trained me to feel this bad, you know, so you're going to start, and you may go, oh, wow, this feels really good for a second, but the next day, you're going to go, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Too much like my mom, you know.
I made it this far, and you know, this is good progress. You know, let's just stay here for a minute.
Yeah, you'll stop, you know, and that's not even you. That's your subconscious saying, don't go any further. We're surviving right here.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't tell yourself at that point, thank you for the survival, but I'm ready to thrive.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that, and that's not even terrible, because when I am working with folks, I'm talking to them more about, I don't care how many times you stop. I just want you to pick it up again.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to kind of shorten out the amount of times that you stop. I want to, I mean, and I probably even lessen the amount of time that you're in that stop mode. Okay, because you get better and better and better. Every time you come up against yourself, that's a victory for me. That's a victory for me, because if you've been doing this for 30, if you've been doing this for 12 years, that's a long time to have committed to a way of being. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, like, I think a lot of people feel that there's got to be a way to, like, instantaneously, like, it's a switch. It's just something that just happened, and all of a sudden, like, I know how to get through this, and I think that's kind of been like a lot of people's issue, and I think because then they feel like a failure, and I think, you know, for me, because I've battled depression since I was 13, and it has had its ups and downs. It's gotten really bad at times, but it's also gotten like where, you know, I would go like 6-7 months without no issues and feeling good and losing weight and, you know, being creative and everything, and then all of a sudden it just takes one thing and you don't know where, and exactly, and what's even worse now is that we're in a pandemic that is preventing us from being able to function fully. Because I think for some people, you know, it's very easy for us to sit there and be caught in our own head. And for a lot of people, especially during COVID, I'm not going to speak for other people. For me, when it came to COVID, I had to deal with myself.
Yellow.
I didn't have, my family lives in Florida and Hawaii. So like 2 6-hour flights either way.
No joke.
So it's a situation of like, how do I you know, deal with my own personal demons, and how do I deal with my own like negative thoughts? And it was very hard, especially when it was like shut down. Like you can't leave your house, no stores are open, you can't be around other people, you could kill someone if you came around the wrong person, you can kill yourself.
Yep.
And you know, for me, it was a very hard time. So, I guess, you know, what you're saying is there's 2 different options of like how to address these things. One of them, of course, is if you have the means, definitely you'll get professional help. But you know, for other means, it was definitely also a really big thing of like knowledge, and also honestly, like being around other people was super important to me. That's how I kind of. Not necessarily. That's how I caught my sanity, because you know, like being able to talk to people about like how I'm feeling, or I'm not having a good day, or being around positive people.
Yes, sir.
And you know, Zoom is just, you know, you can only do so much Zoom. You can only do so much Zoom.
Tell me about it.
So I guess my next thing is going to be, you know, for those that are out there that are again we're starting to go back to keeping separate and social distancing and all that stuff. Like, what are you say getting knowledge and everything like that? Could you give us like some examples of like positive things that we can do outside of like looking at social media or going to the library? Like, what would be your like top like 3 things that you would do, whether it's a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, to kind of keep your mind in the right motion?
I appreciate that. First, I want to start with the premise: knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Okay. But self-knowledge is self-empowerment. You know, so I would encourage folks to do some things that will actually improve not just the knowledge that they have of things around them, but the knowledge that they have of themselves, because that's going to be the critical thing. If I have trauma, if I have anxiety, I have depression, any of those things, the first thing I need to do is build awareness of how that actually manifests in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do I do that exacerbates that feeling or those thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got to come super familiar with. The only way to do that is first I must stop myself for a second, just stop, okay, and then listen, okay, listen to the thoughts.
Yeah.
As I said, 65 to 70,000 times a day they're running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need to figure out what is being said there.
Yeah.
So I got to become familiar of that. Okay. Second, the feelings. Because every time I have a thought, every single time I have a thought, I send a signal to my body, whether it be chemical or neurochemical, hormonal, pulsary, or electrical signal. These 4 ways my thoughts communicate a sensation in my body that we call a feeling or emotion. 65 to 70,000 times a day. Every thought has a corresponding signal. I need to become familiar with that so I know how I'm training or entraining my body to expect certain things. Because the reason why I can go 6 months and then I'm back, I'm addicted to that feeling. And I have to own that. I'm absolutely addicted to feeling whatever I'm feeling, even when I want to change it. And that's why professional help is important, because it brings that insight. But you said something earlier, because the insight is kind of like a double-edged sword. It makes it worse when you know better, but you can't do better. You just know it, and I'm like, God, I keep doing this. And I know it, but I can't stop myself.
Yep.
Because it's not that I feel bad, it's what I'm thinking about how I feel bad that gives me the torture feeling that I'm in.
For sure.
Okay? So I have to slow all that down. Okay? And it's a simple process, because the minute I slow my thoughts down, my brain waves start to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
The minute I slow my brain waves down, my heart and all those things start to slow down. And once that happens, my brain stops going in 1,000 miles a second till it starts to getting really smooth out. Okay.
Yeah.
My right side is starting to connect with my left side. The front is starting to connect with the back, and then they both start to hit the heart.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I can just slow down for a minute.
So like meditation or something like that?
Meditation would be amazing, but you actually have to do a couple things with that, because you have to do some type of meditation that cuts out the sound around you, like no trains or anything. You can, if you get good at it, you can deal with that. But starting out, you want quiet. Okay, you want to be in a place where nobody's going to disturb you. Best time is in the morning and in the evening, because actually, when we are asleep, our brain waves are actually at their slowest. Okay, then we can go from gamma to delta to theta to alpha to beta. Beta is when we're up and awake and we're stressed as I'll go get out, when we're in high beta.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's the reverse when we go to bed. We go from beta to alpha to theta to delta to gamma. Okay, when you want to find that, we call that sweet spot. Okay, you want to be in theta state. Okay, so theta state is that state just before I'm about to go to sleep completely, but I'm still a little awake. Okay, alpha is like when you're watching TV and a McDonald's commercial come on, you go, "Ooh, I'm hungry." Okay, you're susceptible. When you're in theta, you can project what you want into there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's slowing down. A lot of times I get people to just play some ambient music, something that just rolls. Whether it's landscape, seascape sounds, whether it's just music that just doesn't stop, it just plays and plays and plays. All that helps you connect to what I was saying, that autonomic nervous system or the central nervous system, because that's what's spiked all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, and you want to tap into that. You want to hack that. Okay, so that you can actually get it to calm down. Once it gets calmed down, everything else in terms of your healing, your wellness, your ability to be in alignment, balance, the depression, all that goes, because it taps your brain to start creating the chemicals that actually supports your healing.
Yeah.
And then once that does, it sends it to the heart, and the heart sends it to the rest of the body.
Yeah.
Okay, so your brain creates the pharmacy for you. Okay, I mean, all the medications or drugs and things that we have out there, all they do is either shut off a signal or exacerbates or turns on a signal. Okay, your body's still creating
Yeah.
what it is that it needs, you know. So why not do it without putting something in your system?
Yeah.
Okay, again, it's hard because you have to take time
Yeah.
with yourself to do it. Okay, but I'll guarantee you, if you push yourself to do it, not only will you do it, you will actually have the experience, and you can make something actually heal versus, oh, okay, so I'm just depressed, or the alcoholic, hey, I'm Ray, hi Ray, kind of thing, because it just keeps coming back around. Your identity is locked into that. If you don't change the identity, okay, it's going to always create itself, because your brain sees what it is in the future, okay, as well as what it remembers from the past. All I'm saying is let go of the past,
Yeah.
okay, and create the future. When the people that you love, you know, you're not trying to move yourself away from them. You're trying to stay connected with them. This is where the courage comes in, because you're going to have to confront them in a loving way, if I can say it that way.